Chairperson, before we do get started, I do see other participants in the room. If you would like to provide some comments during the comments section, please use the hand feature on your Zoom. And Chairperson Lopez, you are all set.
Thank you, Recording Secretary. This meeting is taking place entirely by teleconference via Zoom. The public is accessing the meeting via the Santa Ana YouTube channel or the city's website. The subcommittee members and I, along with city staff and Recording Secretary, are in different locations. Please bear with us as the technology may disrupt the flow of the meeting. Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to call the January 11th, 2022 School Collaboration City Council Subcommittee regular meeting to order at 12:05 p.m. Will the Recording Secretary please call roll?
Thank you, Chairperson. Subcommittee Member Mendoza. I see Subcommittee Member Mendoza is here. Subcommittee Member Hernandez. And Subcommittee Member Lopez.
I'm present.
Chairperson, you have a quorum.
Thank you so much. So please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. If you are near a flag, please stand up and place your hand over your, place your right hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. Next on the agenda is a time for public comments. Recording Secretary, does anyone wish to speak?
Thank you, Chairperson Lopez. Yes, we do have several comments. We do have Mr. Carl Benninger wishing to make a comment. Mr. Benninger, go ahead.
Thank you very much. First of all, I'd like to wish you.
Sorry, Mr. Benninger, you do have 3 minutes. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you very much. First of all, I wish everyone a very happy New Year. I hope everyone had a very safe and happy holiday season. We did. Really, my question is kind of to this committee and to Lisa, if the city manager has been made aware of our situation of neighborhoods not being able to meet. I've done a little work with Marguerite, and we figured out there are 30 neighborhood associations, 30 out of 62, that cannot meet because we have no place to meet. And if we're going to revive Santa Ana, we need to get our neighborhoods going again. And so I think I've narrowed it down to the fact that we've never, over the last 25 years that neighborhoods have been together, we've never had a formal written agreement or MUO with the school board, and I really think that's where we need to go so we resolve this problem once and for all. So if it hasn't been if the city manager has not been notified of this issue, please do so. I will be going to the school board meeting tonight, and I'll be talking to the superintendent about it tonight, as well as willing to talk to city manager. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Benninger. Next up, we have Pocha Peña. Pocha Peña, you have 3 minutes to provide your comment. Go ahead.
Hi, everyone. Thank you. So I'm Sandra Pocha Peña Sarmiento, and I'm a resident of Pacific Park East Side. I'm also a neighborhood leader here, and I'm on the Historic Resources Commission. And I put forth, did you all get my one-page summary of 3 potential projects that might be for good partnerships between the city and SAUSD? Yeah? Well, I invite you to look that over. There's 3 different possibilities that I think are all very viable. I want to focus here on the first one because it's like the lowest hanging fruit. And that's a collaboration for the Cypress Firehouse to convert that into our first digital library. You know, we've had our library director talk about how there's money and there's a need for a new library. We've had almost all of our city council members and staff mention that as a priority. Our residents have mentioned that we do need a new library. We also need access to technology, Wi-Fi, computers, printers, 3D printers, and just have a technology resource center that has meeting rooms so we can have our neighborhood meetings there, which would be wonderful. And the Cypress Firehouse would be a great place to have it. So I know that there's some resources at the city to help restore it. I know that the school district is also interested in collaborating on some kind of a library facility. So a digital library that doesn't have books and would very, very comfortably fit into that that square footage, I think would be a wonderful possibility. And so I would like to know the process. I included a video in my one-page summary to you. If you could all just watch that video and you get an idea of the scope of what a project like this would be like. It's based on the model that I saw very successful in Texas called the Biblios. So I just want to know what the process is to fully present a project like that to your body. What process would I follow? How could I make a presentation that can make this very needed partnership? And that's my ask to you, fine folks. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next up is Mr. Skeeth DeWine. Mr. DeWine, you have 3 minutes for your comments. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, can you hear me? I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, we can. I can hear you.
Okay, you can hear me? All right, my name is Skeeth, and in the past, I've been a 5-year teacher at Lakewood for the youth at risk in the juvenile camps. I'm also a founding member of the Santa Ana Art Walk and longtime resident, and still have an art gallery in the downtown district. Currently, I put forth a proposal for an outdoor cinema to be created and utilized as an educational tool for the youth in Santa Ana. And like Pocha, we see the corridor as a multimedia destination where we can educate our youth. The theater, I've submitted plans and designs of it through the Arts Council, but would also like to give a presentation on the outdoor theater. And one thing that I noticed with the creation of a theater is in cinema most directly is that there's a lot of jobs directed in the film industry, and we get more participation from Hollywood. And some of these jobs it would open up to the children are film director, film video editor, lighting technician, broadcast film video, location manager, media researcher, music producer. And if the kids start making films, they out in the public forum and out with the theater outside, they get direct responses from the general public. And then also we find that these jobs, as they get more efficient and they practice at them and they get feedback from the public, they lead into jobs like broadcast engineering, broadcast journalism, photographer, sound engineer. And they basically, this type of a venue helps the youth build teamwork and collaboration, project management, their ability to organize time, resources, and people, reflecting and evaluating theirs and others' works, and being proactive and taking the initiative to tell their personal narratives or the narratives of the people in the city of Santa Ana. So I'm hoping that you guys will look at the proposal that I submitted to the Arts Council. I would also like to give a presentation to you guys on the outdoor cinema, and also link up with Pocha as far as multimedia resource center. So it would all be multiple things that would connect for further education and better jobs for Santa Ana's youth. And that's it. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. DeWine. At this point in time, Chairperson, that concludes the public comments.
You, Recording Secretary. We'll move on to the consent calendar items. Item 1 is the minutes of the regular meeting of December 14, 2021. And item 2 is the excused absences. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes of December 14th and the excused absences? Councilmember Mendoza, I think we're having audio issues on your end. Okay, so I'll make the motion to approve item 1 and 2. Is there a second? Recording secretary, Councilmember Mendoza is having audio issues, but I did see her visually second the motion.
Yes, we'll let the record show that Subcommittee Member Mendoza second the motion.
Thank you. That is the end of the consent calendar. We have 4 items under new business today, and I will turn this over to Executive Director Rudloff for item 3, which is the proposed joint use agreement between Santa Ana Unified School District and the City of Santa Ana specific to Angels Park and the Neil McAnder Tennis Center. Director?
All right, thank you so much. We have, I know your committee has reviewed some of the joint use agreements we have currently with Santa Ana Unified School District. And this is one of them that in 2018, first of all, the Neil McAnder Tennis Court and the Angels Park are 2 properties. Neil McAnder is owned by the city and the Angels Park is owned by the district. And we both use each other. So we maintain and operate Angels Park, and the school district uses the tennis courts for their programs and such. And so these 2 agreements are kind of contingent upon each other, and they have expired, and we want to continue to be, utilizing Angels Park, as well as I'm sure the school district wants to continue to use Neil McAnder. I don't know whose phone is ringing, but somebody, let me,
This is Mike.
there we go. And so what we would like to do is, request that the school board take a look at this and approve both of the agreements. We did it in 2018. I can certainly go back to the council and we can redo these and simultaneously with the school district. And so if the committee approves, I would send this to Superintendent Orrin Williams, and then he would present it to the board of trustees. So if, that's the end of my presentation. We just think these are very valuable spaces for the community and the school district, and we want to continue to use them for years to come. And that's the end of my presentation. Thank you. If you have any questions.
Thank you.
Oh,
Director Rudloff, I read in the staff report that the potential agreement, I think of 2018 was that not approved by the board?
no, that was not. The city council approved it in 2018. However, Superintendent or Deputy Superintendent Orrin Williams, it was his responsibility. He brought it to the board, but it was not approved. And I'm not sure if it was a conversation or it was actually brought to the board, but Orrin and I spoke, and he said, okay, you get the agreement approved on the city side, and he'll take care of the school district side. And so
we don't have specific as to why that wasn't approved.
we don't. So I don't know what their reasons were, but maybe they would consider it at this time.
Understood. Councilmember Mendoza, do you have any questions?
You know what, Councilmember Mendoza, if you want to type your question in the comments, I'll go ahead and read them. Sorry, your volume is not working, and we'll try to do the best we can. The only thing I might be able to recommend is that you use your telephone for your volume, if you can. I'm not sure.
So Director Rudloff, the recommendation today is to essentially enter into a discussion with the school
Right.
district about forming a new joint joint use agreement for both of the properties.
Right, yes.
Okay.
Um,
So I'm supportive of the discussion. I don't know if Councilmember Mendoza would like to enter a comment into the record. As I said in the beginning, please bear with us.
yeah.
Okay, so why don't we move on to the next business calendar? We can come back to item 3 at the end if Councilmember Mendoza has functioning audio at that point. So the next item on the agenda is item 4, which is the water tower land purchase and tennis court water project update. And I will turn this over to Executive Director Rudloff. Oh, sorry, Executive Director Saba.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Nelida Saba, Director of Public Works for the City of Santa Ana. And I have an update for you on the water tower land purchase and the tennis court project. The water tower land purchase, the City of Santa Ana's iconic water tower is a historic landmark. Although it was constructed in 1928, the water tower is still functional and operational. The elevated tank, that's what we call them we'll call it in the water terminology. The elevated tank is located at the Santa Ana Unified School District property, and the city has leased that property for over actually 100 years. So we have a 100-year lease with the school district that has expired, and the city has made an offer to purchase the land where the water tower sits, and both city staff and school district staff had agreed on a footprint for the purchase, and we have made an official offer to purchase that piece of land, and we are still waiting on. We are actually studying the description or the survey description of the land that we're purchasing, just to make it exact and acceptable to both parties. And we are actually waiting. The next step is on the school district to accept the offer. We made the offer based on fair market value, and the price was acceptable to the school district staff. And so again, we are still waiting on their decision of the acceptance of that offer. And that's the update on the water tower. On the tennis court, where the water project is, the city, like was mentioned earlier, the tennis court is owned, or the Neil Mechender tennis center is owned. The entire property is owned by the city, and actually is the water department owned property that has been, entered in a joint use agreement with the school district, or the school district. So we do have a water well and also other facilities on that site, a pump station and a reservoir. As part of our improvement on that site, there is a well on the corner of Flower and First that we're trying to put a new life in. And so as part of the project, we are improving, and we need to take a little more space, which is requiring us to reconfigure the tennis court on that site. And the plan here is to change that one tennis court to 3 pickleball courts, and that is in the plans. The construction documents are complete, and we anticipate going to advertise that project in January 2022 coming up. And construction will begin, we're hoping, in September or in the spring of 2022. There was a request for the addition of lights for the entire section of the tennis courts that are not lit right now. And although that project is in discussion, has not been funded yet. So we're looking for funds to maybe add that project to the water project and do them both in the same time. But again, we don't have the funding for it yet. But if funding is available, we would be able to add that scope to the water project scope. And with that, I would entertain any questions you may have.
Let me try and unmute Councilmember Mendoza here. Okay, so.
Is that working? Can
Yes.
you hear me? Oh, fantastic. Thank you. There was some setting that wasn't allowing me to unmute. So here we are. Okay, so I do have questions. You mentioned that Angel Park is owned by the city.
So Councilmember, we moved on for the time being from business item 3. We'll revisit that towards the end. We're on business item 4.
Okay. The
water tower land purchase and the tennis courts upgrade at the corner of Flower and First.
Oh yes, the water tower. So we're near completion of the purchasing the water tower.
We are almost there. We have agreed on a price, staff, at the staff level between the city and the school district. I think there is an agreement on the price. We have been going back and forth to refine the survey description, and we have made an official offer to the school district to purchase that piece of land. So we're actually waiting on the school district response to our offer.
Okay, very good. And was there some sort of appraisal done? And it's
Sure. Yes, it was appraised, and that appraisal went into a closed session at the city council. And I believe it was, if my memory serves me well, it was in the neighborhood of $670,000. And the school district has agreed to that price. And yeah, there was an appraisal done.
Oh, fantastic. Okay. Was there anything else that we need to do in order to get that going?
Not at this time. We have been working with staff at the school district level. And like I mentioned, we found some inconsistencies in the survey of the land itself that we have been working with the school district on. Once those things are resolved, there won't be anything else but for the school district to accept the offer.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So this is a receive and file. So I'm happy to do exactly that and look forward to an update on the purchase of the land.
Thank you.
So we can move on to agenda item 5, the proposed joint use agreement between Santa Ana Unified School District with Fremont and El Salvador Park. And I believe we've discussed this in the past. So I will turn this over to Executive Director Rudloff.
Yes, absolutely. So after our meeting, I forwarded the information over to the school district for the Board of Trustees to have that information. I haven't heard anything back, but when I hear information, I will get back to this body and let you know what's happening. So, but I did send the entire report over and just let them know they could watch the video of our meeting and the discussion and utilize any of that that they need for their Board of Trustees.
Would you refresh me, Lisa, was this joint use agreement is for the community center to use?
This is for Fremont Elementary School and El Salvador Park. And so the school would like to use El Salvador Park and our parking lot in the at the community center to for their teachers to use, and then use the park for outdoor activities. And in exchange, the city would like to use their rooftop or have some joint programming together. And the principal was very interested in doing some joint programming, perhaps on Saturdays for the children. And so we just wanted to present this to you, as well as the Board of Trustees and the school board. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. I apologize. So we provided them all the information they need. And so we're just waiting to hear back from them.
Okay. There wouldn't be any money exchange, right? Just exchange of facility.
Correct. That would be it. There might be when they evaluate. However, that would be our first attempt, is to do it without any money exchange. But certainly, if it's lopsided and one entity needs to, provide maintenance or what have you, we want to make sure that's fair.
Okay. All right. Very good.
Thank you.
So this is also a receive and file. So we can move on to agenda item 6, which is funding of the school guard, the school crossing guards. Executive Director Rudloff.
Yes, thank you again. Just to give you a quick background on the crossing guard program. The crossing guard program used to be managed by the Santa Ana Police Department. In 2020, the crossing guard program was transferred to the Santa Ana Public Works Agency. The city of Santa Ana currently fully funds the crossing guard program that consists of 54 crossing guards serving 34 elementary schools. And I want to stress elementary because that's the level of schools that qualifies for a crossing guard. Currently, we have, as you know, 4 different unified school districts that we serve. Orange Unified has 1 school with 1 crossing guard in Santa Ana. Garden Grove Unified School District has 7 crossing guards serving 5 schools in Santa Ana. Santa Ana Unified School District has 46 crossing guards serving 28 schools in Santa Ana. In total, we have 54 crossing guards serving 34 schools. The current annual cost of the crossing guard program is $1.3 million, and it's set to increase by about $300,000 next year. Approximate cost of 1 crossing guard for the school year is about $21,000, and that does not include summer school. So $21,000 per crossing guard for the school year. We do have challenges. Some of it is the program is on a fixed budget. Increases in cost are due to insurance, salaries, and potential additions of crossing guards. We have received several requests for additional crossing guards from the schools, not necessarily the school district, but school principals and such. The reason for this request is the school district itself has repurposed some of their schools from being an intermediate, but added an elementary level of schooling in those schools. For example, Romero Cruz Academy was changed, or it used to be Spurgeon Intermediate. Now it's Romero Cruz Academy, which is an elementary school, which added to the type of request that we have for a schooling guard. It used to be, like I said earlier, intermediate. Now it's elementary, which requires a crossing guard. Same thing with McFadden Intermediate. It used to be, now McFadden Intermediate is McFadden Institute of Technology. It used to be an intermediate, but now it is an elementary school. So there is additional request for crossing guards. There is an opportunity for partnership. I know that the Garden Grove School or Garden Grove City of supplement their school district in Garden Grove. So they do have a way to partner with the city of Garden Grove and their school district to fund that program. But we don't have that in Santa Ana. So we're looking for an opportunity for a partnership with the school district for all of the requested new crossing guards and the cost of the program itself, like I mentioned. So we would like to engage into a conversation with the school district on funding the program or partially fund that program along with the city. Like I mentioned, we do have the funds right now to run it as such, but there is, my staff is indicating that there is about 18 new requests for crossing guards that we're studying. Those are non-funded. Like I mentioned, one request is $21,000. So that concludes my presentation. Open for questions.
So I'm wondering, so how do we determine what percentage we should ask the school district to help fund those? 50-50, 75-25?
I don't have an exact formula right now. The city is funding 1.3 million. Anything above that would allow us to serve the school district better or the students better. So anything that would add to that will be great. I think the city is committed to the 1.2 million, 1.3 million right now. And I don't see that going away. Adding to it would probably be the best course of action right now, but I'll leave it up to you on how to come up with the, I don't have a formula for that yet.
Has it always been financial responsibility of the city to provide crossing guards? Because I know it's a safety issue.
Right.
And, but however, these are students.
Right.
School. Yes. So how does that work?
Well, it is our streets and it is our students, our residents. But again, they are students in the school. So there is I view it as a partnership, like how Garden Grove sees it. And I think we need to have an engagement with the school district on, requesting some funding to supplement the program. Like I mentioned, the percentage on how much, I really don't have a formula for it. We can study that and come back to you on a number that we would, maybe partner with the school district and see if they're open to fund it partially, at least the Santa Ana Unified. And we would approach all 3 unified school districts with the same proposal.
Yes. Could the CARES funds be used for that?
I'll have to check. I'll have to check. I'm not really sure if that would qualify. But anything from the general fund would of course qualifies to add to the funding.
Okay.
Director Saba, how many years have we been funding this at 1.3 million?
For as long as I know, like I mentioned earlier, this program was given to Public Works in 2020. So it's just 2 years ago. And 1 year it was a COVID year that we did not really heavily use that program because school was remote. So now it is our experience in a full year of operation.
And before Public Works had it, who had the program?
Sorry. Oh no, we've had it for 2 years. PD had it all along. Yeah.
Got it. So I do want to give direction here. I think that we need to go to all school districts, all 3 of them, and enter into a conversation about How is it that we can collaborate with them? I would like here in Santa Ana to possibly see if we can do maybe a pilot and have the school district lead 2 years and then come back and then partner up with the city, so we can split the cost. But I do think that any conversation with them moving forward should include that any new conversions of schools into elementaries, that they really take charge of covering that cost, regardless if it's 50-50.
One more time, flip the cost, like.
So any new, so you talked about the new conversions, which added to the cost.
Yes.
So I think moving forward, I would like to see them partner up with the city to really ensure that they can cover the costs. It is their schools that are doing these conversions, and so I would like to see them, regardless of what the percentage is, them take care of the new conversions and moving forward, and possibly the ones that have happened in the last year.
Can I propose a solution to this? What we'll do as a staff, we would write a letter to all 3 school districts to let them know that we are interested in cost sharing, and let them know what is our program and how it benefits their students and our residents, and to start the conversation at the staff level on cost sharing with all 3 of them, and explain those issues, conversion of schools, cost of insurance, cost of wages, and those increases, and see how they receive that information on that request, and then come back and report to you.
That's great. I'm supportive of that, but I don't want it to be like we're waiting 2 to 3 months to hear back from them. We really have to give them a deadline of by when we need to hear back from them in order for us to really have these good faith negotiations, because we're coming up with our own budget timeline here at the city.
Okay. We'll give them a deadline this way. We would expect a response from them before the budget is done or so.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
So I think Councilmember Mendoza, we can return now back to business item 3. Councilmember Mendoza, if you have any questions for staff, feel free to ask away.
You're on mute.
Okay, thank you. So, Lisa, you mentioned that Angels Park is owned by the city, right?
Is owned by the school district.
Oh, school district. Oh, okay. And Machandler is owned by the city.
Correct.
And so we have this exchange of use and maintenance is handled by respective entity.
Yes.
That is in the owners or the users?
The users.
Okay.
Well, I'm sorry. The city, the city maintains Angels Park. And I believe the school, the school district maintains Neil Machander tennis courts. Sorry about that.
Okay. And
with no money exchange.
With no money exchange. So we were talking about maybe buying Angels Park from the school district. Is that something that we could take a look at?
We could certainly propose that to them.
What do you think?
I'm not sure that what their stance would be on that, but again, I could talk with the superintendent and find out what their opinion or thoughts are on that, and whether to move it up to the board, school board.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of for long term, it'll be certainly less confusion in the future, and But I don't think we would sell Machander tennis courts either, right?
Correct.
Right.
And
So-
I'm sorry.
So yeah, but we're looking to improve and put some lights in at Machander. So I was thinking, how can we get the collaboration with the school district to help, or at least maybe to sponsor the lights? Because I think it's going to be around 400,000. Is that right, Nabil?
Yes, to add lights to the rest of these tennis courts at the tennis court center, the estimated cost is about $400,000.
And how do we go about that? Getting that included in the current project that is going on there on that corner?
Sure. Like I mentioned, the project itself is water funded. So anything that the water project impacts, water will pay for, which included the reconfiguration of 1 tennis court to 3 pickleball courts. However, because the existing tennis courts are not lit, there is no lights on that section of the site itself. That would be added, and it cannot be covered by the water project. What I'm proposing is, if the city or you guys decide that you want to fund that project, then the money or the funds will have to come either from the general fund or some other source to be able to pay for it. And what we would do in Public Works is we could take the funds and add that to the project to make it more feasible, not feasible, make cost. It would probably cut on the cost if we couple that project with the water project, and we can do both in the same time. So that's what I suggest, but we don't have the funding source right now, but it's something that can be considered if the fund is available for the addition of the lights.
Is this something that we could ask the school district for to share with their CARES money? Would that qualify?
I think it won't hurt to ask.
Okay.
Because they are the primary user of the tennis court itself. And I'm not sure how much they use them at night, but I think if we put lights, they probably use them more often.
Right. Yes, it certainly will be used more often. Okay.
So I'm supportive of that, Director Saba, and asking them if they would be willing to, pay for the lights. As you just said, I think they're the primary user of the courts. And I'm also really happy to hear that the water project is going to be water funded. So it's not $100 that are being used for that.
So can I, just to close up here so I understand, do you want me to go to the school staff, the superintendent, and ask if they would entertain, both agreements moving forward to the school board?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes.
And then also, I think maybe we should, do you want me to talk about the purchase of Angels Park, or do we want to save that for another time, or?
Let's save it for another time. I think the lights are a priority.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay, got it. Will do. Then I'll report back to you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
That is the end of our business calendar. Next on the agenda are the subcommittee member comments, and we will start with subcommittee member Mendoza.
Thank you, everyone, and I apologize for the technical difficulties. I think we're doing a great job, and I appreciate the effort that goes into it. And thank you to my fellow council member Lopez for handling the issues quite smoothly. I appreciate that, and I'm looking forward to getting lots of work done in collaboration with our school district. And I think it's a positive. And I also wanted to see, to ask at this meeting, it's just us, right? Just city staff. We don't invite school district staff just yet? Or is it open to the public? Anyone can come?
Any of the public can attend this meeting, and you can invite any school district you would like.
5 years. It also
Okay.
expands.
Very good. I was just, it's just that Dr. Alvarez sent question is why wasn't he notified of today's meeting? And I believe it is noticed that anyone can come and join, right? So it's open to school district and the public in general. So I'll make sure to let them know about that.
Thank you, subcommittee member. Lisa, did you have a question or a comment?
Yes, can I make it after you're finished with your comments? I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt the flow here.
Yeah, sure. So my comments, Happy New Year, everyone. Thank you for being here today. I do agree with the recommendation that was given earlier by public comment in terms of directing staff to start a conversation with the school board members regarding how we can work together to allow the neighborhood associations to use their campuses, any facilities that are available in the communities. I know we've discussed this like twice now. So again, if we can go and engage with them, that would be great. And I think beneficial for the entire city. We will as soon as we hear something, we will make sure to let people know so that they know where we are at. And I also wanted to say that I like the idea of a digital library at the firehouse. And so thank you for submitting that. I enjoyed reading about that. So those end my comments, Director Rudloff.
Yes, I just wanted to, I know this is not on the agenda and I didn't have time to put it on because it was a late meeting. However, on the next agenda, I would like to put on there, Godinez High School has contacted me in regards to developing, constructing a pool, a swimming pool, a swim center. And so I would like to bring a report next time and provide that information to you and talk about our discussion and then go from there, if that is acceptable to this committee.
Yep. Look forward to that.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Anything that will bring activities and more community benefit as a school and the public, I'm in favor of that.
Okay, thank you.
So this is going to conclude our meeting. The next regular meeting will take place on Tuesday, February 8th, 2022 at 12 p.m. and meeting adjourned today at 12:52 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Happy New Year.